All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Beers with the Band. I'm your host, Chris Schramm. Thanks to everyone that is joining us for the first time, and welcome back to those that have listened since day one. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button and turn on your notifications to catch every episode. Now, on to the interview with your next favorite artist. All right, guys. So why don't you introduce yourself and introduce this beer?
Well, why don't you take it away?
Okay, yeah. We're Local Cryptid. Brian Hyde.
Hello.
Yeah. Hyde is on guitars. And yeah, I've been doing basically everything else.
That is true, including production.
Yeah, production.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to perform and track the drums and bass on it. So I kind of like the idea of just having guitars be solely Hyde's responsibility on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically the genesis of that, what we're doing.
All right. Well, why don't we pour this first beer in a glass and
You want to introduce the beer as well, Brian?
Oh, sure, yeah. This is a Pilsner. I forget if it's Belgium or not. It's made by Carlsberg. They're elephants. They have different names for different strengths of Pilsners. This one's 7.2 ABV. And yeah, I like it. It's a good one.
This is a strong one to start with.
all right. Well, while we're getting this poured in the glass, you guys are a Nashville-based indie band.
In essence, it's we in as much as a lot of bands probably say the same thing, we like to think that there's a lot of influences in genre that we encapsulate, mostly, I guess, kind of along the lines of micro genres, and stuff like their D-beat influences, their metalcore influences, but just broadly speaking, I guess heavy and louder music, both slow tempo and high speed, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say punk is a pretty good general overall genre, as in within that there's those DB influences and metalcore
Yeah.
and indie. Hyde had a way of describing it, the way that we're kind of going at tracking, recording, and writing songs is as you listen through, it's sort of more like a mixtape kind of thing,
Yeah.
or a playlist.
Yeah. Well, your latest EP, Cryptid One, has a few songs on it that I've listened to and I really enjoy. But you told me that it was punk / hardcore punk.
Yeah.
On the album.
Yeah. So some of it's, I guess there's one track in particular that's kind of a throwback more to I guess the kind of punk that was just basically sped up Ronettes and stuff like that. It's supposed to be a bit catchier. There's a nice gang vocal in there or whatever that has an actual melody to it and stuff like that. So I don't know, and it was supposed to be kind of a synthesis in between sometimes hardcore people might think it's atonal or a bit too fast, or there's too many changes, and trying to also integrate an element of just being something. I mean, I hate to say it, I like something that's catchy to listen to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With some melodies going on and ideas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love my slam bands though, don't
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get a sniff and then taste this beer and we can move on.
Yeah. Let's go.
What is the nose giving?
It's giving beer. It's definitely a hop. kind of thing going on. Some like barley.
It's a very nice Pilsner
Yeah.
aroma. It's not too overwhelming in any way. I'm really excited to taste this beer, so
Oh, cheers.
cheers.
Yeah.
Uh,
There we go.
Catchy.
All right.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it's 7.2 ABV.
No, it's really nicely balanced. You can kind of, I think on the back end, you can kind of taste like some of the hops or whatever that I would associate with like a 7 point something, type beer or whatever. But
It's got like the bitterness, but
yeah,
not like the like fruity intenseness of like an IPA, but just the bitterness.
And it's very subtle.
yeah,
It is, yeah.
The malt flavor, I really enjoy. It's like a slightly sweet green, but it's not overwhelming.
Not at all. Yeah.
Well carbonated. And when the carbonation goes away, it kind of cleans up the sweetness of the beer.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of has like a nice little like loop feedback
Yeah.
going on there. You notice the sweet, and then the bitter comes in. Back and forth.
yeah. I feel like, like a lot of the times when I drink a Pilsner too, I expect it to be like a very, like as I said, think I said earlier, like kind of a light kind of beer, but this definitely gets into, what I mean? Definitely tastes a little bit heavier, more like an ale or something like that.
Yeah, there's more going on with this. Like it's dense.
Yeah.
Well, to me, this is the way a Pilsner should taste.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is American Pilsners that we have grown up on are so mass produced that you almost have to look for the flavor because they're looking for quantity, not quality.
Yeah.
At least that's my perspective. I could be
just enough quality in the quantity.
Yeah. But when you run across a good Pilsner, especially if you're young and you start with a really good Pilsner and you start with really good beer, and then you kind of move into just the basics, like what I grew up on, you're going to be so unimpressed. You're going to say, man, it must have sucked to grow up like that. Well, it did, but that's all right.
Yeah. Having grown up in Colorado and just with the microbrewery
Oh yeah,
like explosion that happened in like 2000s.
Yeah.
And then still going on. Yeah, like once I turned 21, I already knew like what beers I liked just by like being around it. And then I had like a stout phase right away, and that moved into like IPA. Everyone's got to have their IPA phase.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
And then I figured out that sours exist and like saison and gose, and then that got to a level where like goses and sours can be like really extremely uncomfortably sour.
Yeah.
Like, how can you finish a like a whole beer with it being like what is like the Warhead candies?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's like that, but beer.
Yeah.
Minus some of the sweetness, probably too.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like it's dry, but like all the way sour.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just like kills your taste buds. Then I got into like pilsners, and then I found this guy. It's really good.
Nice.
Well, I've been through my
German brewing also got me into it too. There's like a brewery from Colorado called Prost, and they do like
shout out Prost.
Shout out Prost. It's traditional German brewing, full stop. What do they call the thing that they like fire the steins with? It's like a dragon or something like that. It's like expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like wood fire and all that. That's what they do. There's only like 3 locations or whatever. But that was like the first time I tried like a true like Keller ale.
Yeah.
And those are delicious.
Yeah.
It's really hard to come by something like that out here. But yeah, it seems like, I don't know, doubly hipster to be like like I'm a Pilsner guy, but I like I don't know, just like the hard to come by Pilsners. But I'm down for, well,
Well, I mean,
Modelo.
you know what you like, and you're not afraid to experiment with beer.
Yeah. I mean, I know what to look out for. If it says Gose, I'm like, okay, this might be like an easygoing one, or it might just like obliterate my taste buds.
Like,
Yeah, it could be just absolute sugar bomb.
for real.
Goses are always like super dry, but all the way bitter or all the way sour.
If they're done right. I've had a couple
Really?
that they were just absolute sugar bombs.
Really?
I mean, they were a little dry on the back, but it seemed like they were, and I don't mean this to be sexist, but it seemed like they were really pushing, or they were really trying to get the females, because it's true. Women do like, in general, sweeter beers. And it was just, they had 2 or 3, and all of them were just a little too sweet.
Interesting.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mean that women only like sweet beer, because that is not the case. There are plenty of women out there that like beer a little hoppier than what I can deal with. I'm just saying that's my take,
or at least definitely the way that certain beers are marketed.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah. But
one of my favorite beers from back home is called Princess Yum Yum, and it's like a strawberry wheat, and it's so stinking good.
Or is it like the Abita strawberry or something like that? Or
I don't know what that is.
Does it have a kind of like an over-ripened strawberry?
I don't know, like the strawberry quality in it is sort of jammy. I would compare it to Jackalop's Lovebird.
Oh, that stuff's good.
Nice.
Except for Princess Yum Yum is like not as like sour. Like the Lovebird has like more of like a sour thing going on. Whereas Princess Yum Yum is just like an easygoing wheat beer, like unfiltered wheaty strawberry beer.
Oh, so it's an unfiltered wheat beer.
Yeah. It's like thick, but like low ABV, like you're like, chilling on a canoe.
It's something that you should sip on. It is not something you should just.
You could slam it.
Yeah.
Like I would.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I found with an unfiltered wheat beer that actually has a good fruit flavor to it.
Mm.
I need to sip on it.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
You kind of want to savor it.
Golly, that bottle. That bottle, man, I'm going to have to get something to sit them on. But this beer is absolutely awesome, man.
Yeah,
I was going to say, good choice.
I am
Thank you.
Very impressed with this beer.
It's a good one. And it's not like crazy expensive, like compared to the Deliriums that I also brought. Like, it's just like I think Carlsberg has like a higher output capacity that Delirium has, and so I think that's like a major like cost thing.
Yeah.
Like how like their pricing on it. But most I have found Carlsberg in like most like liquor stores.
Yeah.
Like we stopped by Frugal McDougal and like
shout out Frugal McDougal.
That's good stuff there. But yeah, like what I was saying before cameras were on, like I've made a beef stew with scratch with using this, and damn,
I mean
I'm gonna need
balance,
I need a recipe. Beer beef stew. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I need the recipe.
It's like beef bourguignon instead of like red wine. It's just like you deglaze with beer, and it's like.
I think I've definitely had some beef stews with like Guinness or like stouts.
Yeah.
Not a like just like balanced pilsner. That sounds really nice, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That does sound delicious. Seriously, you're gonna have
to
slaps. Get me that recipe somehow, and I'm gonna make it.
We'll just put it down here for you.
Go.
Be like,
there you go. So, you guys have a new EP out called Cryptid One.
it's on its way.
Yeah.
I'm still mixing it.
Yeah, we have the first two songs that will be packaged as a sort of like a single, I guess like a little teaser for it, or whatever, coming out soon. Though we have finally got the artwork on lock. The final mixes are basically almost there. So, but yeah, we've just kind of been like tweaking at the project because we've already started like another batch of songs, and you know how it is being creative. You just like you learn things as you're making the other songs and
Right.
kind of go back and approach it. But we definitely hit like I think a good standard for like the mixing and sound and stuff like that. Like we we want it to stay true to its punk is supposed to be something that's rough around the edges and pretty raw, but we wanted things to sit spectrally like nicely in like pockets and be audible, you know what I mean? Like we wanted it to sound a little bit better than a rehearsal tape, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Funnily enough, that's the hardest part for me
yeah.
on the mixing.
Yeah.
Because like with all the instruments like added together, they're all living in like the same like area, like on the frequency spectrum, like everything's building up at like 100, 150K or 100, and then like up on like the high mids, everything adds together at the same time. And in order to preserve like the rawness of it, I'm trying to do like what's like what I can do as least as possible on it, so it sounds as like raw as possible, but without getting like the ear fatigue.
Yeah. We sort of, I guess, like the standard of it is like we would like it to still sound pretty close to like when we just set up a few mics and a drum kit and I play on like an orange amp or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
like-
kind of like
Studio live kind of
what someone should expect when they come see a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to sound very similar, even if you guys aren't the one that sets up the sound for the venue.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very similar. So it's not going to be a surprise to the fans when, a guitar's a little forward in this song, or maybe the drums are hitting a little harder in this song.
Yeah.
I think those are all good things.
Yeah.
Well, it can be, but when I go to a show and I know I've listened to the album multiple times or I've listened to the song multiple times, I kind of know what to expect. And then I just get completely blown out by a guitar or the drums are just pounding off the roof, and it's just like that, man. No, because those drums are covering this up over here.
Yeah.
Or the artist, is putting his or her heart and soul into the vocals, and you can see that. But all I'm getting is this just jamming guitar.
Yeah.
Not to say I don't like it, but there's got to be a balance. But if a song is guitar heavy, yeah, we can focus on it, but don't let it just completely blast everything else out. And that's my problem with live music is when I hear a song and I enjoy the musicality of the song, but you don't get that in the live version.
Yeah.
That's not fair to the artist. It's not fair to the song. Because someone who's never heard that song before may or may not like it just based off what they're hearing.
Or like vice versa, where like someone's never heard the song before and they're like, damn, this drummer's like going off. And then they go and listen to the album version of it, and the drums are like the vibey indie, like super padded, kind of hipster Ringo Starr thing. And they're like, what is this? Like, that's not the same thing that I listened to before. I wanted like more like, ooh.
And another thing that was, and like, I don't know, this a lot of this music was very informed by not only like going to like like live like hardcore shows in Nashville, but also growing up in Birmingham. I mean, granted, I was in a suburb and usually had to get a ride to shows in like the south side of Birmingham or whatever, but like seeing like really high energy punk bands that would knew when to like slow it down, you know what I mean? Some doom bands, some stoner metal bands, like sludge metal,
Which
just
is a thing.
which is very much a thing, like Melvins and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I Hate God actually falls pretty firmly within that, but like just a very unique, like I can't describe it, but like Birmingham was a very interesting like musical cauldron because it seemed like some scenes just kind of skipped the place. Like there was not really much of an appreciation for like Midwest emo and stuff like that. Like Sunny Day Real Estate type stuff was like not really played in shows there. Like there was a pretty defined indie scene because there's colleges there. You know what I mean? Like a lot of shoegaze bands, but like notably everything was like really four on the floor, like just really fast up tempo rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like a la like stuff very downstream from the Stooges or just DB bands like Discharge or Disorder and stuff like that. A very interesting musical environment, I guess, to come from. So I don't know. That was very influential on like the dynamics and sound, I guess, of this project.
So, do you guys play all the instruments on these songs?
But between us, yes.
Yeah.
We have a few people we have picked out for playing a live show. We're trying to plan it in early October. We'll definitely keep you in the loop for that.
Yeah.
Would love for you to come see some of this stuff live, including some new songs.
That'd be sick to have you out for it.
Yeah.
Oh, if I come when I come out,
Yeah.
I'm bringing some cameras, so
Okay.
I'm gonna try to work on getting some good footage. It
Yeah.
just depends on the lighting of the venue, but
Yeah.
if nothing else, I'll get some good.
Mhm.
We'll get some good footage.
I'm thinking probably East Room or something like that for the first one,
Yeah.
which has really good lighting and really good places to shoot from. I played one of the sets I played there recently with another band I'm a part of, and shout out to Indifferent, great metalcore group. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, we had sort of an impromptu video shot there just because one of our fans was cool enough to just like go back and forth, pan across the stage with their cell phone and stuff like that. And the lighting was just fantastic. The sound was great. And I mean, granted, because of our production techniques and stuff like that, we were able to alternate in between like the live song and the recorded version or whatever for certain things. So I don't know. It was a pretty ambitious production, but it's definitely a good place to capture some like raw footage or raw sound. I mean, it's a very well produced place, if that makes sense.
Well, I like in the social media world where a band will do a little short on Instagram, let's say, and it's maybe one or two pictures that someone else took with a cell phone or whatever, and it's got different angles and different lighting and stuff like that. But the band puts a little bit of the song with the photo.
Yeah, they'll overdub their release.
If they took a picture of the guitar player just doing something crazy, they'll play the guitar part of the song to go with the picture.
Yeah.
And it's unique because it really draws you in. Or at least for me, it really draws me in to see the guitar part and be like, man, I wish I was at the show to see exactly what I'm seeing and hearing right now. Very, very unique. And I think it's cool when other bands will get up there and just whip out a camera and just start filming you while you're singing.
Yeah.
And then when you get off stage, they get up on stage and do a show. And maybe one of you guys walks around and films them. That's the community in music that I love. Everybody's out, hopefully, to promote each other and lift each other up. And that's what I love about music.
I always get caught up in the moment. I'm like, just like, again, just like in the moment, listening to stuff. And then I'll forget to like at least bring my like phone out for just like a little clip. But usually like when I go, I always like make sure that I at least got like 15 seconds of like a cool part of the set to kind of like share.
And having those
whenever I'm out, which is rare.
Yeah. Having those like come up in like Snapchat or like like your little iPhones, like memories or whatever. On this day, you know what I mean, 4 years ago, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that was a sick show.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I missed this band. I should go like listen to that one EP they put out before they finally shit the bed or whatever. But
yeah, that's definitely happened. Or just like, damn, it actually sounded pretty cool. Like, actually sounded pretty good out of like little iPhone camera and mic.
Yeah, well, it's very unique and very raw. And to me, that's what I enjoy about indie music.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I enjoy indie music. Not all of it is just raw. Some is overproduced. I understand that. But as a whole, at least here in Nashville, a lot of indie music, no matter what the genre, is raw.
Yeah.
Even if it is produced, engineered.
At least it's artistic consideration is raw.
Yeah, you can feel what, if you sit and think about it, you can feel everything about the song.
Yeah.
And then some songs are just drums, guitar, vocals.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't overproduce that.
Yeah.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with this, because that's basically the setup. There's some elements that we kind of like have snuck in. This is me being like, producer head and stuff like that. That
right, Rick.
Made it as like as like a hook kind of part. But I've been kind of like focused on it's still coming out of a guitar. Like say for the song Rat Like, there's like this like sample that comes in, but it is from tracking Hyde like ringing out the guitar, and I was on the delay pedal, and I was messing with like I had the feedback all the way up, and I was messing with the timing of it, which changed the pitch. And I was tracking that. And so I took like I don't know, let's say like 3 minutes worth of just messing around with that, and then like chopped and clipped that, and then that became like the hook for Rat Like.
Yeah. The descending sort of like melody part. Yeah.
Yeah. And so while we're figuring it out live, it'll be like drum, guitar, bass, vocals. But that does kind of open up like an area of possibility of like maybe doing like those samples like live through like an Akai pad or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's just like an idea that I've been toying around with.
I don't think we have a synth on the record except for a single 808 drop.
Yeah, the single.
There is one 808 drop that it worked too well, and I allowed myself one indulgence on if you remember, I was like, we can do one silly production decision per song.
Yeah,
sometimes it didn't make it, but like generally speaking, there was one thing per song where like, okay, this is almost like a studio inside joke or something. Like, the first song has a lot of like, and I don't know, it kind of played into the one of the grandiose, or not grandiose, but overarching themes of the record. Like in the first song, there's like a bunch of recorded laughter and stuff like that from my friends that I had in the studio to do some gang vocals.
On the breakdown.
On the breakdown, which is supposed to be and traditionally like heavy, like somewhat solemn part of a song, the kind of thing where people go in a pit and violence occurs, you know what I mean? To put it simply, but like, I don't know, like a unifying factor we tried to go for with this record was to sort of like reject some of the nihilism that is latent within the scene and the music and just make it like, I don't know, I would just the first song is sung by a really good friend of mine. You know what I mean? Addison of Indifferent. She's incredible. Every other song was made with a really good friend of mine. I guess what I'm trying to say is it was supposed to be a celebration of relationships like that. You know what I mean? And just like clowning in a studio and stuff like that. So,
well, having fun and being creative.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like if there's like a singular mission, that would say like it's just that. It's just like
Yeah.
Well, how much time have you guys invested in this project?
I feel like it's been a year now.
It's been about a it's been about a year. It started with I think
almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Well, it was like fall last year.
Yeah, I think that's when we started in earnest, but I think I sent you like recordings and stuff like that probably around July and stuff like that of last year, if I recall.
Yeah.
I can look at the files at some point and see when they're recorded, but yeah, I don't think we started working on it in earnest until like probably just about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's still it's just getting existential.
Oh my god, yeah.
There.
Well,
it's okay.
Talk to me about the influence of Gummo and trash hypners.
Trash humpers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. Sorry. Can you?
I guess I mentioned those as
Yeah.
I guess I mentioned those broadly because those are films made by Harmony Korine, who was a Nashville native at one point, and I somewhat had a personal connection with because I didn't know the guy. You know, I'd like to make that very clear, but like my aunt and uncle who were involved in the art scene in this town and that I grew up being very close to were really good friends with one of his relatives, and their relative was like talking about how they were, you know, like their like little nephew or whatever was like this wonderful artist that had films shown all over the country, and so she brought them the Trash Humpers, and the movie is literally just like prosthetic. They're all wearing prosthetic masks to look old and just doing like the dumbest, like just horrible, stupid like pranks. It's kind of almost like a nothing movie, but like.
When was this like made?
I think late 90s or early 2000s. So
okay,
and it's all set in like Nashville. You can probably go to places to this day where they like film some of the scenes and stuff like that. So I don't know. Growing up in like, you know, I would spend about a month out of every summer here because, well, TLDR didn't get along too well with my parents, so they just shipped me off to my weird aunt and uncle.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, no, exactly. They're lifesavers. You know, shout out to all the weird aunt and uncles out there.
We need them.
Yeah, no, for real. Keeping us all sane or insane, apparently.
Yeah,
but
I think I'm the weird uncle too. My nieces and nephews.
Yeah, better than being the weird aunt, I suppose. Kidding.
Yeah. Oh, but I only have a dog though. I don't have a bunch of cats.
Okay, yeah. But
nothing wrong with that though.
But yeah,
not at all. I have one.
That's cool.
Yeah, the influence of I guess those films' artistic considerations and aesthetics. In fact, like I feel like I keep mentioning this. I Hate God. The shirt, the band for which the shirt I'm wearing is derived. Has a song or two featured on the soundtrack to Gummo. You know what I mean? It's just like really heavy, slow, plodding Southern blues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sludge metal adjacent, as we mentioned earlier.
Bluesy. It's bluesy, but it's sludge.
It's very yeah. It sounds like a swamp. They are from New Orleans, so
I gotta check this out.
But yeah, great film. We should
first time I'm here.
We should definitely watch it together at some point. Actually, on my like little battle jacket, you know, actually that's the back patch I have is actually a Gummo shirt that I backed with some duct tape and then had somebody sewed to the back.
Well, when you
you
text me that, I was like, really, this is based on film.
Yeah.
So
I've always found like atmospheric, kind of like, especially out there kind of like films to be very influential to my process or whatever. I often like to sit there with the guitar plugged into an amp and just watch a weird movie and play along to it. Honestly, the first song I ever wrote that one of my bands still plays to this day, I wrote while watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World when I was like 14. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. There's something about the cinematic experience and playing off of that or trying to soundtrack what's going on.
That's a really good movie to
yeah, there's garage rock, you know what I mean? It's just like it was like a 4-chord song, you know what I mean? But it was just
it's
like
all very cool,
yeah.
so it's like very inspiring.
I remember
It's like
yeah. I remember feeling like the notable feeling of like, oh, I got something here, pausing the movie, recording it on my phone and sending it to my degenerate friends that I was in a band with during those days. Rest in peace, Lenin and the Bolsheviks. Great band, but
I wish I knew him.
Yeah. We never released anything, luckily. But
luckily,
yeah, I actually had my other friend who was like the guitar player for it hit me up recently. Was like, hey, like there's a Twitter with like our name still attached to it, and the band's called Lenin and the Bolsheviks. I'm like getting married or whatever. Can you like please take this down?
We can't have distant relatives.
Yeah, exactly.
Dig this up.
Yeah, and I was like, no. Couldn't find the login, but also just kind of like,
hell yeah,
remember where you came from, bro.
Yeah.
Remember when we were shredding on a Les Paul in a basement, you know?
Yeah. If anything, yeah, it's like that would make a fun story for them.
Yeah, it's all rock and roll. You see?
Oh, that needs to be the name of one of your albums. It's all just rock and roll.
That might have to be the full length. You know,
full length.
That might have to be a full length.
We might sneak that into for like a line or something.
Yeah,
because I'm still writing lyrics for like the next batch of songs.
Yeah,
so
you can have that at the start of one of the songs, but have it sound like an album where it has that little bit of crackle in the back. It's kind of high. It's all rock and roll, and then just jump into the song.
1, 2, fuck you. You know, something like that.
2-step hoedown. Yeah, work for that.
Really excited about that one. Yeah. Well, we might have to play that one live for. That's
point. I mean, yeah. We're pretty much there for that. I mean, I still need to have the lyrics for it, but
that's fine.
What made you guys get together and do this project?
I think it started with Hyde being like, "Hey, man, I got these guitarists that, like, I don't know where, like what I want to do with them, but I have a lot of them." And then meanwhile, I'm like working on my own like indie pop stuff, that I still need to finish and show you. But, and so, I just wanted to, like do some recording on that, and then it came like turned into like a snowball effect, and then
next thing I know, we're meeting almost every week for about a year.
That's
how chip away at finishing, writing, recording, demoing out, you know.
I kind of want to say it was sort of like a give a mouse a cookie situation, but I've been having too much fun on the process. And yeah, that was essentially it. And so that is, we were talking before about like our subtle rules that we're making on things. Like there's like one silly, like, you know, producer thing that we can get away with in like one track.
Yeah.
The other is, like I mentioned before, guitar. I'm not writing any guitar unless it's like something atmospheric or, you know, like not like a main guitar part.
Or it's like a melody to, a harmony to something that already exists.
Yeah, exactly. All of that is like, I'm letting Hyde do all of that. And that also naturally builds the arrangement too, because typically, like if you're at a riff, it's like, well, okay, like what got you from like going into the riff, like what's before that, you know, what's going on after that. And so before that, before you know it, you have like 3 different parts. Most songs are, you know, 3 different sections. And then you can just like go chorus define from that point. And so that's how I've been like leading the project in general. Is just starting with the riff and then seeing what comes up after that, like what I want to do on drums on it. We'll do like either I'll like write down MIDI of like if it's like super obvious, so what like the drums are gonna do. I'll like type down the MIDI. I got pretty good sounding like MIDI drums, get good drums, sounds awesome, just like straight from the bag, you know. And then at like at some point we got to do like a live jam or something like that. Just like to feel out the parts, you know, transitions, things like that. Like doing the live jam will like naturally solve those kind of like problems.
Yeah.
If you're just like thinking really hard and like, okay, like, you know, this riff is doing this and the drums are doing this, the transition, da, 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 da. It's like, if you just like play it through, it's going to like naturally unfold itself. But I'm not speaking really generally for all genres or anything like that. Like really for like what we're trying to do. And this kind of like punk thing is like, that's solved like 90% of, I haven't really done the math, but there's some numbers to crunch there. But but generally like most things have like naturally kind of like, okay, that's the part. And then we'll like I'll send a balance of that session, and then we'll, you know, next week we'll like have our thoughts and stuff like that, and just like keep that process rolling.
So who is out there listening to your music? Who are your fans?
As of right now, only the few friends we have elected to show some of the material to. I've kind of been keeping on the back burner till we get some of the material, at least in a demo stage for the second EP, because I wanted it to be kind of similar to what you said, like 3 or 4 something or something like that in kind of rapid succession. But we are going to try to put out a single, well, 2 songs basically within probably the next month or so. I'll, you know, I might try to get poetic or interesting with you know, the date in which it drops or something like that. But at least by October or whatever, there's going to be listenable and present material, you know.
Yeah, I'm personally putting it the mixes on a fast track. And yeah, like not getting like my own personal thing is like getting too caught up in like a singular detail, and if that problem like persists, and I'm like, well, I have to just like undo everything, and it's just like, well, then that's going to take way more time. So I'm like, really, I'm just like, I have to remind myself that this is not going to be a pristine pop production or anything like that when it comes to like mixing and mastering it, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, it's definitely its own animal, and letting it be its own animal is going to how it's going to shine. And I don't know, it's kind of, I feel like I'm personifying this EP in a kind of sense, because it's like, it sort of has like a lifeline of its own. It's kind of like, I don't know, having a pet, but it's just like nurturing it, taking care of it. I have a hard time letting go of this like fun little like process.
Release paralysis is a real thing.
But it's time to move on to the next phase.
Let's touch on that, because I think that is something every musician has or suffers from. And that's something that consumers in general probably do not understand, is that an artist will just overthink every single thing. And then maybe even sometimes, you know, just say, you know what, it's not the right time for this song, or we have it 95% finished.
That is a thing where it's like, that's a sick riff, sounds like a different song kind of thing. That, or is this a song where it's like it sounds like a bunch of different songs put into one?
Or even worse,
that'll get me in that paralysis.
Is this a song for this project or whatever? You know.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because you know, like I'm in another group called Indifferent. They're like metalcore. He and I are both in a group called the Finites, which is I'm using kind of like off the wall sort of indie rock, gets quasi experimental, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And aside from that, I play in a
heaviest
basic
that
band.
project gets is shoegaze.
Yeah,
I'll say.
exactly. So this is an outlet for, I think, both of us to explore some of that
It really
stuff.
is.
So I mean,
Speaking of exploring,
what a transition.
We definitely need to explore that beer because I am out. All right. So while we're opening this beer, ooh,
Feisty.
yeah, it is.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yep, it might foam out.
And
Sorry.
it's all right. I got a glass I can get it into real quick. Who would you guys say are your influences for this particular project?
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, well, for me personally, Hyde's been sort of like providing the influences just to understand like where the riff is coming from.
Yeah.
Because if it were me like in isolation writing like a punk EP, which like by myself I don't think I would, you know. I've never been like solely like into punk. I loved like the old school like skating stuff, like the older Misfits,
Yeah.
Black Flag,
Huge influence on the project. Yeah.
and yeah, but I haven't heard of I've heard songs that you would describe as D beat, but I didn't know what that was or never heard it being said as D beat until Hyde explained it to me and like turned me into like Discharge. It's one of those bands that you would I think would define this.
Oh, definitely. You know, D beat Discharge. You know what I mean? It comes basically from that. So yeah.
I sort of feel like
I
a
don't-
poser because I'm like, this is my like segue like fully into this kind of thing. But beforehand, I've always been into like more like, I guess you could say like equally chaotic stuff. But like the closest that I already knew about before coming into this is this band called Converge. And Converge is like, when did they first started releasing? It was like right at 2001.
Yeah.
And they were like genre defining into like metalcore.
A combination of hardcore punk and like
Hardcore punk.
Trajectory of metal at that point. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it wound up becoming a lot of things, but I think
shoegaze was already a thing.
Yeah.
So they had like sometimes like a lot of effects, but it's just one of those bands where it was just like the songwriting didn't really like need to make sense as far as like this is intro, this is first one, this is pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus hook, you know, verse or bridge, whatever. It was like, no, this part's going in here, this part's going into here, breakdown, going into the next part, nothing like the first verse, you know, it's just like chaos.
It's a freeing, it's a definitely freeing thing about playing this sort of music. You know, like I remember when I briefly played in a blues band years ago.
Hell yeah.
And I thought that was freeing, you know what I mean? But even still, you're like, you know, you got a certain chord chart for a certain amount of phrases, you know what I mean? You're just, you're following that. But what I liked about, you know, like a lot of the stuff that we've recorded had been me kind of figuring out almost an entire song on guitar and then retroactively going back and fitting lyrics on top of it. Like, it's more just like a stream of consciousness. Like you can kind of jump between keys, in addition to the fact that it's like heavy and fast, sometimes getting some dissonance or whatever is cool, you know, as opposed to being like, oh, that note, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it's artistic.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be just the same old thing. It's
Yeah.
going to be something different.
Exactly. So, I guess that was kind of one of the most attractive things about trying to write stuff like this again, which is, after having spent so many years playing in indie rock bands, that generally had slower tempos, playing in a blues band, slower tempo, but a little bit more free. And then, finally getting catharsis from playing in a metalcore group. I was like, there's so much music that I think I've been channeling into other things that I would prefer to just make on its own grounds. You know what I mean? Like actually revisit, like punk and, hardcore and, Southern like sludge metal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's get a sniff on this beer.
All right.
You ever tried Delirium before?
No, I have not. Wow.
So this is Tremens from Delirium, but this is a Belgium Saison, I believe. But yeah, this is, I would say, there's more inherent sweetness into it, which I actually really enjoy. Depending on how like my taste buds are feeling or the temperature, I either get like bubblegum or like apple.
I'm getting a lot of apple on this.
Yeah.
It's very citrusy, but not overly so. In the bubblegum, I've never really thought about that for this style of beer, but I do.
Like
See where you get that.
Like the big roll of bubblegum.
Yeah,
Bubba.
exactly.
What is it called? Double Bubba?
A bubble tape, you mean?
Bubble tape.
Yeah.
Like that. Like specifically that.
Yeah.
That's like, it's kind of weird for a beer to remind me when I was like 6 or 7, but yeah.
Well, now that you mention that, I do get that. So let's go ahead and get a sip and
I already had a couple. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. So cheers.
Cheers, Chris.
All right.
This is a higher ABV.
Yes, I've
Definitely.
yeah, I taste that, but this is a delightful beer.
It's good.
Man, you've brought 2 beers that I'm going to keep around the house. There's no doubt about that.
I celebrate with this one. I didn't see it at Fruit McDougal. I probably passed by it. There's another one. So like this is like my celebration beer.
Yeah.
I'm like with the family and it's like Thanksgiving or something like that. This is an awesome beer to have on like Thanksgiving. But there's another one called Duchess de Bourgogne, and it's
almost
a red one too. Almost, oh man, that would have been mine. But that's a red Flemish ale, and that one is like a winey beer, or almost like vinegary, which a lot of people really dislike.
Yeah.
I love the complexity of it. It's like a beer that tastes different when you finish it from like when you started it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, like a good beer should, if
Duchess,
you're sipping on it, because it's going to sit there and warm up. And it's going to have a little more aeration, kind of like a good wine.
Those tannins are going to be sitting on your tongue already too, so sort of like tempering your beer to the glass and stuff like that. Your tongue is tempering itself to whatever you're consuming.
Yeah,
there's that interaction and the bacteria that's already in your mouth.
Yeah, and this is a delightful beer.
It's good.
What is the ABV on this monster?
8.5.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a big boy.
Yeah, right there.
Belgian ale.
So if you had any plans after this, I'm sorry if I...
No, yeah. I plan to go home and eat dinner and go to bed.
Nice.
But, I mean, obviously, if I not finish this one, but...
Might be an easier dinner for you.
Yeah. Might be a real quick dinner or just go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
Many such cases.
Yeah, I've done that more than a few times. after recording, but do you guys think that the bands you named earlier, your influences for music, do you think they would enjoy these songs?
I would say so, or at least hopefully consider them to be an earnest homage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's also, a, not that people listening to, I guess, fast and heavy music always really consider this, but there are a few like kind of like almost like Dadaist kind of elements and various other like kind of like I guess slightly conceptually higher stuff that we tried to integrate. Like I mean, you said there's one song that basically doesn't necessarily have real lyrics. You know what I mean? Like it's just like more based on how the words sounded on top of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in addition to one of the guitar solos is actually mostly well, I mean, do you want to explain it?
Right. Yeah. So, for writing lyrics, though, this does come from like a technique, where you're just kind of like singing gibberish, and then, more often than not, if the lyrics don't come from doing that, at least you get like an idea where to start. And so, a lot for this project, I'll do like a placeholder for like vocals, like if there's not like a clear idea, or like we also sort of started this project as like we'll fill like be like the band part, like writing for it, and we wanted more like different vocalists to join and collab for it. What I ended up like singing or screaming into SM58, like just like straight into my interface, ended up being like some of the parts because it just like was right for it.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. And so yeah, that was like for the song that we're calling Spit. Like literally like the first like whole like verse, I was just like but it fit the vibe just right.
Yeah.
And so we almost like just I mean, I think you might have probably would have let it happen. Totally. I couldn't let myself.
No, I
had to write lyrics
let it
for
happen.
it. Yeah. So I actually wrote lyrics for it, but like it's still like not discernible, and that's kind of like the idea for it.
Yeah.
And then chorus, it's like getting vocal callback kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's like a solo. Most of it is vocals, but it sounds like a guitar.
Yeah.
There are lyrics.
It was heavily treated vocals.
Yes. And there are lyrics. You can't make out what it is because it just sounds like a guitar. I think I have them written down, but I know all the words start with the letter K.
Yeah. Made a nice plosive sound, I guess.
Yeah. But I don't know if you like shoegazy bands at all, but like especially like these days, I think there's like this like shoegaze kind of like thing where the vocals are like heavily affected and they're kind of like murmuring like the lyrics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's sort of that vibe, but it's over a skate punk kind of track.
It's
which I think is a cool combination.
Cocteau Twins meets like Black Flag or something.
Yeah.
Like famously, like their vocals are buried, they're heavily layered, and half the time it's actual gibberish or just phrases taken from like literally like phrase books in other languages even, you know what I mean? Just it's more about it's mostly about the way that things are sung. And like the melody and stuff like that. So with that song, that was kind of,
I was ignorant of this.
Yeah. So when you accidentally wound up doing it, I thought it was brilliant, and that's why I was like, nah, man, keep that. That's great. Like I've heard songs in like other languages that the person didn't understand, but I've never heard a song in a made up language.
Yeah. Well, it's that's an actual thing. Like in a lot of genres, I hear.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, partially relying
money.
Yeah. And partially relying on that is like is sort of people's expectation of the sound, if that makes sense. Like they are just kind of half expecting to hear like barked lyrics without, too much discernible. If anything, it was kind of supposed to be a slight inversion of, we're just going to present them something that's inherently meaningless instead of like just them ignoring what could be actually very
like intensely being like, hey, this is a vibe, instead of like, hey, I got something to say. Like, I don't really have anything to say, but like, this is a vibe.
Yeah. And that song was supposed to be honestly not necessarily a comedy song, but a very, very tongue-in-cheek sort of endeavor. It was supposed to be fun and have nice melodies and that sort of thing, but was supposed to be a bit humorous, if that makes sense.
So the vibe is the emotion.
Yeah,
generally speaking.
Yeah.
And would you say the vibe is also the subject of the song?
The most important thing, I will say,
Yeah,
from my aspect of it, that's like recording it, also mixing and mastering, whatever, just making it loud, sending it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sending it to like a mastering engineer to be all like scientific or whatever. It's not like, I don't know. Maybe I'll do some multi-band compression on it, but like, I don't think that's really gonna.
Is that a threat?
Yeah. If anyone's gonna listen to it, like, I don't think they're gonna be like, I don't know, like the low mids are like punching a little too hard. We'll put like a multi-band compressor on that frequency to like dial that back a little bit. It's like the vibe is definitely more important to like show. Like it would ruin these songs being, there's easy parts and there's like really hard parts, but like as a listener you're not going to be able to tell the difference between it, because it's already like taking you to a place, and that is like that's it. Like that is, sorry, I wasn't giving you the signal, I'm just saying it's like I need to go to the bathroom thing. I don't, but that's the main message, is whatever the vibe is, you can't break it down into words. That's what the lyrics are for. The lyrics are gibberish too.
Yeah.
Well, not if they listen, when they listen.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to.
Yeah, Murphy's Law. It's out there. Someone's gonna hear it.
No, someone will trust me. I have my sources.
Hell yeah.
I have my sources.
I mean, yeah, if not AI bot, some real human ears will hear it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Why did you guys choose this genre to express yourself?
Catharsis is kind of the simplest answer in a lot of ways. Like a lot of the songs, especially in the first one, were conceived and I don't wish to get too personal or anything, but during a time where I was not doing so great. It had a relationship that had lasted for quite some time dissolved and kind of wound up on the road for like a few days, and just like crashing at friends' places and stuff like that, and kind of like realizing through that experience that like in the face of it, based on other things I had gone through, and also the fact that I have friends or whatever, one can get through just about anything, if that makes sense. So largely the record, it was supposed to kind of have like a feeling like a bit of like self resilient, you know what I mean? Like not necessarily letting things drag you down or letting your life fall apart. Like if something bad happens to you, it's still probably worth to show up to work so you can pay your bills and stuff like that,
Yeah.
In addition to being like, I think as I discussed, just friendship being a central theme, like having a bunch of friends show up. We're just like slamming beers and stuff like that and doing the gang vocals for the record. And
that was a great night.
Yeah, I even had a friend who's never sung on a record, but I was like, hey man, like you fit the vibe, and like, like he let me even stay at his place during that period, you know what I mean, for a few days. So I was like, you should come and sing on the record, you know what I mean? So seeing some of that stuff come full circle and stuff like that. But also, yeah, just I don't know. I don't wish this to sound too cheesy, but I don't know. I want it to be a record, that's not as like nihilistic or defeatist as some punk records are, but like I guess it's more along the lines of like what Bad Brains were going for and stuff like that during early hardcore, where it's like, songs about like sailing on, stuff like can fuck you up, life can fuck you up, just keep sailing on, man, don't let it bother you, that sort of thing.
Well, I think mental health is not touched on enough in music.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of creatives struggle at times. We all struggle at times.
Song without being vain about it.
Yeah. But I think creatives do it differently. I think they hold it in and express it in music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good thing, but I don't like the fact that it's not a subject that is talked about as much as it should be.
Yeah.
And I think if you really listen to some of your favorite songs and you really dive in there, there's a whole different thing going on in that song that you may not realize if you're just casually listening to it, listening to it in the car. You're concentrating on driving, but you're hearing it. You're not listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you listen to a song, that's when the real heart and soul comes out in the music.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you shared that, because I think what you went through, everybody goes through. There's no way around that.
Exactly.
But you found a way to deal with it and use it to your advantage and be creative. And I think that is a beautiful thing that musicians and writers, singers, artists, people in the music industry, that's an advantage they have over people like me.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to get mad and sulk and cry and move on, because that's how I deal with things.
Yeah.
I don't have a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you still have to like sulk and cry.
Yeah. There's absolutely a space for that.
There's always a space for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you guys have the ability to take that emotion and turn it into music. You can take a negative emotion and turn it into a positive, I'm not going to say a positive song, but a positive event.
Yeah.
Because later on, when the emotion has passed, that song is forever there.
Yeah.
And that song can affect other people.
Yeah. If someone hears it and they connect with it, that's, I don't know, like that the human connection is more impactful than the negative feeling itself.
You have become their friend, and they're crying on your shoulder when they listen to your music.
Yeah. I mean,
because your song is empathizing with their situation. So you're
no way
reaching
we can
out.
know.
Right.
No.
Right. But when you put it out there, someone somewhere is feeling that.
Yeah.
And they're going to find your music and your song, and it's going to speak to them. And I think that when you keep that in mind, that can be a driving force for every negative emotion you go through to create a song, because someone else is going through that same thing. Maybe not right now, but maybe later. So your song is going to speak to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very, very cool in music, that you guys as creatives have the ability to get that out there. Do you guys feel that you have paid your dues when it comes to music and being indie artist?
Anything.
Sip spear. Yeah, I well, do you mean like paid my due like in like a mindset of like I have seniority in this, or just like what exactly do you mean by that, or like should I have made it by now?
No, you have spent enough of your own money to record music, to go in the studio?
No, it's a black void. There's an endless amount.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, I'm good on my own budget or whatever, but yeah, I mean, I'm not tracking that.
well, no, what I'm saying is, do you feel like you have earned where you're at right now? The album or the EP that's coming out, when it comes out and it's released into the wild, do you feel like everyone who downloads that album or comments on a song, do you feel like you've earned those comments and those downloads?
I have insane imposter syndrome, so if that ever, like, if that happens,
when it happens, stop the if, when.
Yeah.
It'll be a pleasant surprise.
It'll happen.
Yeah. It's kind of like, aside from the focus of it, it's like the thing that you do for sure. But to avoid being like artistically paralyzed in the minutia of like everything external from your source of inspiration and creativity, that's going to muck all that up. And so I feel like I protect myself in that kind of sense, where it's like, I'm just doing the thing. We're going to put it out there, work on the next thing, put it out there. In the meantime, play shows, have fun. If there's interaction on that, cool, like reply and stuff like that. But I'm not going to look at it in a mindset of like, about time, like, or like, say, like, we play 3 shows and it's all like our, it's one of those shows where it's just the bands and like the band's friends and our friends, and then like the 4th or 5th show, there's other people that are there, and it's like, do you know them? Like, what's going on here? Like, there's more heads, what's going on? Like, the room's more filled up. Like, what's happening? I'm not going to be like, about time, I'm going to be like, sick, like, that's cool, like, I would just go along with it.
So it's artistic expression more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In earnest,
Yeah, like,
so
like,
if
I'm scrambling eggs because I'm hungry. I'm like, I'm making music because I want to like enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like your approach, but at the same time, I kind of feel like okay, so how about this? Who do you make this music for? This EP, what I got sent in the email.
I guess
who was that made for? Was it made for the fans, or did you make it for yourself?
I guess a little bit of both. We, because you had the nice thing about, I mean, I hope this word isn't misconstrued, but like the intimacy of it just simply being a 2-person project. A lot of things don't really get lost in translation. Like it's just kind of like, there's kind of like, what if we tried this? I don't really like that idea. Okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't get lost in, well, actually, like it's actually less complicated. Like if there was a 3rd person there, I have a feeling some of this stuff might not even be finished at this point. You know what I mean? But
yeah, or
it's not like it's hard to make a decision or anything like that, but just it inherently being a like partnership help.
Yeah, having more variables and all that. It could also speed up the process in certain ways too.
Yeah. And both of us having a similar idea and kind of a background to what we want to hear, respectively from it. So I guess it was like made sort of like for us or something to satisfy an artistic like urge. Like a lot of the idea was like, I wanted these to be songs that I wanted to hear, you know what I mean? And because I, generally speaking, when I'm in the recording process, I try not to listen to the demo 100 times. So when I hear them, when we go and actually mix them, sometimes it'll be like a few weeks and I'll be like, oh man, I forgot about that part. That was actually really good, man. So I guess, in order to satisfy other people, one needs to like sort of externalize. It's to create an album that satisfies an externalized version of oneself. So I made sure that they're all like riffs, vocal melodies, and lyrics and stuff like that I thought we could a lot of people could like attach to, especially given some of the subject matter and like themes we're trying to play around with for it. So like going back to like again like just friendship and you know what I mean, the idea of like like I don't know, if I was to directly like sit there with a person who was going through something and listening to the record, I would want it to not only be like a, hey, like people are going through the same thing as you, but hopefully be like an uplifting, like you fucking got this. You know what I mean? Like you can do this. You have agency as a human being to get through this event. You know what I mean? And I believe in you, So does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Could music videos be made for your songs?
That's actually what I'm actively working on, like a few concepts and stuff like that. I have a few locations scouted that I think might be good for it, but ultimately I think what is going to, and I think to help with the effect is honestly just getting a lot of our friends involved, you know what I mean, and trying something silly, You got to get Al, got to get Ross, got to get Brian back,
Yeah, they got to be there. I don't know, like your like knowledge of like niche film could be an influence,
Okay, so there is,
I'm thinking like
I'll tease it.
60s, 50s horror kind of thing, and trying to recreate that.
For Rat Like I Am thinking about basically the music video concept being Gummo 2, because the bathroom of the place I live in looks a lot like the bathroom in that movie. So we just got to tape some bacon on the wall. We should be good.
Bacon on the wall,
dude. It's art. If you have to ask, you won't get it.
I mean, I've seen a banana on the wall as art, but
that's
that was a different kind of art.
Yeah, that was a different kind.
That's actually admittedly the back of my house. My housemate did paint a mural of a monkey holding a banana with bananas emanating from it.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's
bananas all over it.
When I have friends come over to the place, I'll say, just go to the banana house. You can't miss it. So. But yeah.
Now you know where to find them.
Yeah, local Cryptid Enterprises. But yeah.
So who would you guys have film these videos and shorts? Or better yet, what are your feelings on video, both long form and short form, for indie artists and promotion for music?
I haven't really thought about this.
In terms of getting someone to film, like I don't know, because it's also a hard question, because like a lot of cinematographers and stuff like that I know do very adaptable things. Like they can kind of shoot things in a style if requested to an extent, But
your music is raw. So why not just go with raw footage?
Exactly. So
that'd be kind of fun to make it like pristine.
Nah, man. Nah. No, I think especially if we're going for the Gummo 2 angle, we need to find the worst camera to shoot it on.
Yeah, the worst camera. Yeah.
I'm sure I probably have.
Otherwise, you'd be resorting to iPhone and filter kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But a bit too clean, even. You can tell.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, I don't know.
We need thrifting for some camcorders that hopefully work.
Aesthetics,
that's getting somewhere.
Yeah. Aesthetically, I guess I'd like it to be reminiscent of, like, I don't know, like punk shows in Britain, where you're like in like some weird house or whatever in the south side of Birmingham where people are jumping so much that the floor breaks through. That actually happened at a show I went to one time. Back in the day, you know what I mean? There was like, I think they were about to get evicted or something like that, so they just had a bunch of punk bands play, and like literally people wound up falling through the floor. Everybody was okay.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Just playing in, like, there's something about I don't know, this might be a bit of a tangent, but there's something about like the element of like Southern decay and stuff like that that played an element into like at least like some of the sonic aspects of it and stuff like that. Like growing up in Birmingham, seeing all these like Greek revival houses just fucking falling apart, or like a bunch of punks living there, you know, like an AFI flag or something in the window, or like, you know, just crazy stuff like that. You know what it was called the Iron City, but you know what iron does over time? It rusts, it decays, and it cracks and it breaks.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just kind of channeling some of that, just like this, like, I don't know. I sometimes view this as like, in as much as I've been made fun of for the fact that I'm from Alabama and various other things, sometimes like I consider it a blessing, because like you have this like weird perspective on the world as a result. You know what I mean? Like had to directly confront some of the worst atrocities that have happened to me. You know, like Birmingham being the site of the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. You know what I mean? MLK being thrown in jail. The history of Eugene Bull Connor, the sheriff there, and stuff like that. But also, like, just knowing that it's your responsibility to carry the torch and keep pushing on to make it so that that history will someday seem silly. Like, how could you ever think of Birmingham as that way? But also being inextricably tied to it. You know what I mean? It's this weird sort of, like, dichotomy, if that makes sense. And I don't know. I think some of that contradiction and some of that philosophy found its way into the music. You know what I mean? Just being from like a tarnished land that's sort of like falling apart on itself. You know, I'm sure you remember old Nashville and stuff like that and what it used to be like, and then just seeing it now, you know.
Yeah, but old Nashville, I truly love. Now, don't get me wrong, we had our problems.
Yeah.
But, and we still have, of course, everybody has bad sides of town.
Yeah.
But there was a balance in Nashville that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful thing that has been, I'm not going to say tarnished, it's different. I don't like change. And Nashville changes every single day.
Dude.
Needless to say, over time, you know, over the many, many years, it has been changing recently, 15, 16, 17 years. At least that's what the news is saying. Oh, you know, this 17 year. No, it's been longer, but 17 years of entire neighborhoods just being knocked down and rebuilt in some weird, you know, West Coast vibe.
There's
that tall skinnies and these houses that have
just south from here
weird pitched roofs, and they got like 3 decks, but they're all about this. Put one chair on, you know. It's like
if the chair fits.
If you're lucky,
if the chair fits, sit. And because that's all you can do, you can't stand because the chair's on the balcony. But the change is, some people say it's better for the city, and it does draw in creativity in both food, art, music.
The food in the city, I think, is awesome.
I think it was like, naturally so for that to begin with, though. You know,
I do enjoy the different flavors, the different takes on food from both, you know, the West Coast, East Coast, just everything. I really enjoy that because I grew up eating Southern comfort food, which I love. I truly love.
It's hard not to like it.
But at the same time, I've experienced so many other styles of food, so many other styles of music, so many other styles of beer. So there's a good side and a bad side to the way Nashville has exploded. So I try to look at both sides and say, you know what? I'm lucky I grew up when Nashville was a small town. Wasn't a city. It was a small town. had a few big buildings, and we had the music, country music scene, but we really had a music scene.
Yeah.
But no one knew about it because, it's country music. No, it's
great band.
Music City.
Yeah. Jeff
Not
the Brotherhood,
country music.
Diarrhea Planet. You know, I saw those a few times when I was like visiting, you know, back in the day, and like they were formative, honestly, especially Jeff the Brotherhood, rest in peace.
Well, no one outside Nashville knows about the music scene 15, 20 years ago. It wasn't just country music. When you went to these venues and saw these live bands, very rarely were they even country. We had dueling piano bars, which I found absolutely amazing. I love
that rocks.
going to the
old saloon stuff.
Oh, I mean,
they're like, look back.
when they really started battling each other and calling each other out, and folks are sending them beers and they're starting to get loose. Now they've kicked the stool out and they're standing. They're cussing each other, saying, "Oh, I bet." And I was like, "This is art. This is literally something that is created right here, right now.
Yeah.
I don't think can be recreated because that guy's been doing shots for a while. He may not even be sure where he's at right now.
He's dragging as much as he's rushing. You
know? Yeah, but he is wailing on that piano, and it was a beautiful thing, and it's no longer here.
Yeah.
And I remember when a high-end restaurant, you could go eat, a 3-course meal, have 3 different wines and a little cocktail at the end of the night. It cost you and your date $150.
Yep.
Now it's
a good deal.
$500 plus tip. So
yeah, if you get a bottle of wine,
forget about it.
All courses.
So, how many unfinished songs do you have for this project?
Well, virtually all of them, like, not virtually, technically, until the release, which, again, I put on the fat. Do you have one of them Coors on?
Yeah, speaking of which,
just need something to sip on.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm breaking the rules.
We brought auxiliary beers just in case.
Well, you know what? That's not a bad choice. How many of those do you got?
We have even more in the car, but if you like one, right?
Yeah, we got more in the.
I'll go ahead and take one.
I got you.
On with it. Coors Banquet, come on, classic.
Yeah,
classic.
Yeah, not the light stuff.
Yeah,
talking about Banquet. So, total number. Without pulling my phone out. I would say like 8. I think there's 9, but
we have a few others. Well, there's at least 8 that are actively very much being worked on, I guess, technically.
And 2 very much done.
Yes.
I'm just being persnickety on how it sounds.
Yeah.
And
in addition,
to take more than like Wednesday to be like, this is final. Don't let me do anything more on it. Like, it's done
on Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
I will not listen to you on Thursday. I'm here being blocked on Thursday.
Yeah.
Until I get the files uploaded on Distrik.
It's a deal. Yeah. And then I guess 6 more. I think 7. What is Cryptid 2? Is that?
I think we're actually maybe doing it's slightly longer. I think we've written about 5 or 6 songs for it. In addition,
Step Hoedown.
Yes.
Tequila.
A collab.
Yeah. And then, can I say the other one?
Let's call it Fortunate.
Yep, Fortunate. Yeah, we'll just call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I feel like there's another one.
Listerine.
Oh yeah, Listerine USB.
Yes. Okay,
which will probably be its official title.
Yeah.
For sure. And same with 2-Step Hoedown.
Yeah. No, that's
something more clever.
No, that's too good.
Yeah.
All right. While these guys are trying to figure out the names of those 2 songs, we are going to take a quick intermission. We'll be right back.
All right, y'all. What's up? My name's Harkos. I edit everything around here at Two Beers of the Band podcast, but I wanted to hop in here real quick and let you know a little bit about my podcast called Music Making Sense Podcast. All links are available at mmcpod.com, of course. But what is Music Making Sense Podcast? Well, it's a podcast designed and dedicated specifically to music marketing, branding, and how to have success. Real success as an independent artist. I'm constantly dropping videos that dive deep into strategies and tips and tricks that you can use as an independent artist to help you grow your fan base in a real and sustainable way. So if you're an independent artist struggling with the marketing and trying to do everything DIY all at the same time and could use some help, come on by Music Making Sense Podcast. All links are available at mmcpod.com. And if you're not an independent artist, but you happen to know someone who is struggling with their music marketing, again, mmcpod.com for any and everything Music Making Sense Podcast. All right, I'm going to shut up now and get back to this great conversation. Let's go.
I think an experience which pointed me even more towards doing this was I had briefly worked as like a guitar tech / merch person, and then eventually, don't ask me how this started, but assistant tour manager for like a platinum selling country act. And I don't know, just hearing them talk about their own music just became depressing almost, if that makes sense. It was just so like, geez, is that really what you think? You know, outsourcing everything to people you think I don't know.
Well, it's so commercialized.
Yeah.
It takes the actual art
Yeah.
out of the music. And when you take the art out of music and when you take, it's all right, that's washable, machine washable. And I probably need to wash it anyway, but
Maybe after this.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you got the shoes, the moving blankets.
when you take the art out of music, you take the heart and soul out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you might get a few $1,000 or $100,000 for the song, but at the end of the day, are you going to be around next year? Is that song going to be around next year?
Yeah.
5 years from now, when someone runs across this song, are they going to remember it?
I mean, artists will get a couple of checks from ASCAP and BMI, you know, hopefully a couple of grand altogether.
Yeah, but I'm just
from all the streamings, and hey, maybe it makes it on the ad, but like with the AI these days, it's like kind of like I'm already seeing like Geico commercials and stuff like that, like visually using AI, which is more difficult to do than like audio. But if you're just in it for the money, you know, like that's already kind of like going out.
It's like being a doctor and being just in it for the money. There's almost a harmful precedent being set for your ability to like properly approach what you do.
That'll change the prescriptions that you'll get to people.
Many such cases. Many such cases.
Do it for the money than their health, the heart of it.
Well, it sounds like you guys are very dedicated to each note that is in every song, and you're dedicated to the art of the music, both the vocals, the instruments, the production, every single aspect of every single song. You guys are 100% dedicated to that.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I hate to bring Wagner into this, but it's kind of like like the total art principle. You know, he was allegedly like intimately involved in everything from like staging and costumes and various other things and his productions. And I don't know, like I've always appreciated that in artists like the architect Gaudi, one of my favorites or whatever. He's from Spain, and I actually have had the fortune of going to some of the places that he created, and he would design the structure itself, but also the furniture inside of it. So he had like his buildings are like nothing else you've ever been in, because they all have this like flow and stuff like that. Even in the furniture, that wasn't assigned to an interior decorator. He saw to all of it, and he had the skill to see to all of it. So,
And how long have these structures been around?
I believe at least over 100 years at this point.
So do you think the reason they've been around so long and they're appreciated so deeply is because every single aspect of said structure was thought about and created and mulled over and stressed over by the artist, the same way you guys are doing your music?
There is a cathedral he was building in Barcelona that is still construction. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think it's been 70, 80, maybe even 100 plus years since like the first break was laid or groundwork started. But yeah, we don't want our album to take over 100 years to come out or anything like that, obviously. But
Love the idea though.
very cool.
Yes,
But
I don't think we'd live to see it through.
yeah.
Do you think your
Like, it's
music,
like 40 more years or something?
does your music have staying power?
They're numbered.
Pardon me?
Does your music have staying power?
I would like to think so, because there is something nice about the punk subgenre and ethos and culture, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's become or whatever current expression it's in, where like, I mean, I've like talked to indie kids that even like Nervous Breakdown by Black Flag and stuff like that, like very comparatively, like honestly, like amateurish, like recording style performances and stuff like that, but like
Just funny because
they fucking rock.
One of the best recording studios in Colorado is from Bill, which was, I think, the bassist of Black Flag.
Yeah.
But their stuff at that time was very like, I mean, either they're doing all they can because of the time that they were tracking it, or they were actively being like anti-production because punk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to bring that up. It's kind of funny, but like, yeah, like, it's kind of, it's like, it's hard listening to some of those like older albums,
Yeah,
because of how anti-production it is. But it's also very inspiring because it's like, really like the idea and the vibe of it. It's just like, that was it. Like, that was what they were like
doing the best with what they
portraying.
had,
Yeah.
and ultimately, I
And
think
it's like,
I think the ethos of like recording stuff in a minimalist fashion was almost like post de facto after actually like putting the material out. It was like, no, this is all we had. You know what I mean? It's like
that's how I feel like because I was just like, I wish there were like double takes or whatever to like fill in more space. I'm like, nope, like this is it. Like these are the tracks. I'm like, I'm just gonna like bring all the levels up to like an asinine amount and then kind of like smooth out what I can.
Yeah.
So in the email or the message, I was told it needs to be played loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Why is that?
I'm personally of the mind that like a lot of the touchstones, and even my experience playing live, this sort of material, like I mean, inherently it's loud, to kind of show you definitely would need earplugs, and it's actually like it should be a physical experience, if that makes sense. Like that's why I'm excited to get some of this stuff out live, so that I don't know, I think it might increase people's understanding of it, is because the feeling of having the air moved around you to the riffs, you know what I mean, and that sort of thing. Like in times where I've been able to play it on like a full stack with 100-watt amp and luckily ear protection, I'm like, okay, no, this is good, you know.
That's the stuff there.
Yes, exactly. So it's I guess it wasn't necessarily like a creed or a command, but it is something that I think a person would be doing themselves a slight disservice to if they weren't listening to slightly above what their normal operating level might be.
So is your music a audio, not audio?
I wouldn't recommend it for audiophiles.
Well, no, I'm just saying, is your music...
the high end's just right. Like, yeah, it's messy.
It's no Steely Dan record, that's for sure.
Is your music, and this is my perception of what you said. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't mean to offend if I do.
No.
But would you say this EP should be somewhat of a Tool experience where it's a little bit of everything?
You mean
a little bit of, a little bit of all your senses, a little bit of both visual, audio, physical, just so much going on. Should a fan approach this EP in that manner? Just let this speak to you and see where you go.
Yeah, I guess I would like it to hopefully be a bit more, to not to denigrate Tool or anything like that. They're a pretty excellent band and very good at what they do, but a bit more approachable than some of that material.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean? Yeah.
Like in addition to like its sound and but like also like just more how I guess more emotionally earnest some of the stuff might be when it's not intentionally gibberish for artistic effect.
But I will say, to portray the vibe.
Yes.
I don't know. Like maybe you don't need words for that.
Yeah. No. No. Exactly. And that was kind of the vibe of the record. Like I would have to say, everything was done kind of with the sense of humor, with it intact. It might not always come across like they might seem solemn, but like, I mean, the whole and our song "Rat," like there's an anecdote about a time, and admittedly, it's not one of the greatest things I've ever done, but I had
it was a great source for writing lyrics.
Yeah,
just saying.
This was a touchstone of our lyrical collaboration, but a time where I had been on the road for a minute, and it had been about a few days since I had something to eat. So I had a friend. I was crashing at a friend's place, and they left me like a can of soup. And my dumbass, when I was opening, I cut myself in the can of soup, and they had also just only left me with like a Smirnoff Ice, so I had drunk that almost immediately, obviously. So I was just like, oh, okay. Oh, shit, I got cut. This is bad, and I just like kept preparing my soup. And then like literally the next thing I remember, I just like woke up in a puddle of vomit, soup, and blood because I had cut myself on the soup can and passed out.
Which made awesome lyrics.
Because I hadn't eaten in a few days. Like my, I imagine like my blood pressure was like pretty low and stuff like that. But like my friend was like, oh, God, I left you for like a few hours and like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like darkly funny experiences like that happen sort of just when
make him light out of it.
Yes, exactly. Like
out of punk.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of my favorite like lyrics that like I've like ever sung though.
Yeah.
It's the way that it goes. This is in the second verse, so it goes, vodka shooters, cut myself, nothing suicidal, just wanted soup.
Yeah.
Which is, I love the line, just like, I just wanted soup. And then the next line is like, woke up in a pool, surprised my own blood and puke.
Yeah.
And it goes into a breakdown.
So like normally, I feel like if a band was approaching subject matter like that, it would have been solemn and very like blood and puke. But like we were just trying to find the fun. It was just like, man, fuck, I just wanted some soup and now it's cold. Like
and bloody.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm hungover and there's vomit beside it.
And now I got to explain this to my friend that I'm crashing with. This is a really bad look.
I can see the music video in my head literally right now, just based off what you said. And if you approach that in a very artistic way with an old camera, like you said,
it's got to be a low budget. It's got to,
Oh, I can see it. I even hear the reel in the background.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
We have just created your next music video right here.
I think you might be right on the money there.
At least it's documented. I feel like a lot of our good ideas were like, what were we thinking before?
Yeah.
There was like song titles too. We were like, we had it. What was it? So now it's still a mystery.
Coors Banquet has been somewhat of a unofficial sponsor and a hindrance to the band. That usually by the end of the session, we've made it through about 12 of these, maybe each.
Those bastards, those bastards and their good beer.
Look, if I ever meet them, I'll probably shake their hand. But you make a really good product.
Do you guys feel that you have vivid imaginations?
I would like to.
Sure.
I would like to think so, I suppose.
I mean, well, yeah. Like, I feel like in passing, I feel like I say a lot of things that surprise people. So I think that might come from a vivid imagination.
Yeah.
I'm into dreaming. I like dreaming. I remember my dreams and stuff like that.
Not
like every single time, but like for the most part, if it's compelling, like I'll wake up and, kind of like think back and be like, yeah, it was like an interesting dream. I found myself being like that headspace, whatever that is similar to like ideas for creativity and stuff like that. So I found that's like kind of important for me, honestly. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, I the imposter syndrome and all that. I like, sure.
What does this project mean to you individually?
You want to answer it first, or shall I?
Yeah, like an awesome like field to explore. Like explore with like recording, to do something like really like raw, like heavy, impactful. Or we have some dynamics too. Like you heard the song "Cocaine" on the little EP.
Yeah,
and like
Don't
we
call
dial
it
it back. There's no
little EP.
distortion really. Like even on the heavy part, there's no distortion on the guitarist. What were you saying?
don't call it a little EP. Say the EP.
The EP.
Our
Yeah.
EP.
Semantic.
Sorry.
The EP.
The
So-
EP.
So, yeah, like, there's like dynamic. It's not all just like, blah, blah, blah. And, it's kind of fun, like having that kind of like, thing going on.
That is something we are going to try to not necessarily adhere to as a strict form, but we are very much toying around with the idea of like at least one song of each EP sort of somewhat breaking genre and representing something a bit more slow and,
Yeah.
just not to pigeonhole ourselves in a sort of way, you know what I mean? Like always having one track that is kind of out there and that sort of thing, and maybe not even relegating it to simply one track, you know what I mean?
Yeah. For the most part, organically, all the stuff that Hyde has come up with solely on just guitar, like, hey, I got this idea, encapsulates a lot of different vibes, a lot of different like ways to like go about it just from the start. And so like where I'm coming from as far as like what I know what I can do with recording and where my imagination could take a riff and be like, okay, this is like a main section of the song, or maybe this riff is like leading into something bigger or something like that.
Yeah.
There's already sort of like a path going on to it. And so for me personally, I kind of feel like when's the other shoe going to drop or something like that. But for now it's like, I'm just like riding this wave of like, okay, say if I were like doing the guitar riffs or whatever, it would just kind of like stop right there. Weirdly enough, for my own self, you have the guitar riffs, and it's just like everything else kind of opens up from that.
Yeah.
And as far as like creative, like considering myself like a creative or whatever like that, it's like it's just like I kind of feel like I am already like hearing the thing once high. It's like, hey, I got this riff, boom, 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 like. For the most part, I feel like I don't know.
Yeah. Very symbiotic relationship in that.
Yeah.
So when you go through that process and you feel like this is it, this is what this song needs, are you comfortable in that?
Yeah. Until I listen back and I'm like, oh my God, everything's building up at like 100 hertz, 150 hertz. It's like, I wish I recorded this differently. But yeah, like,
you also have the fortune and or misfortune of like being able to zoom in on like a macro versus micro level, whereas like I would have just been like, yeah, that's a good riff. Like, because you also had the production element, you're like, oh fuck, it's like peaking at 200 and like nothing's discernible, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's like muddying up everything.
Yeah.
There's no headroom.
Exactly. And I think sometimes, like having the producer brain and stuff like that, like we've been able to come with some amazing stuff you know what I mean? Like using the feedback tail for that one song is like a replacement for a synth, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for Rat Like.
Yeah, no, and stuff like
yeah.
that, but like, there comes a level of where like I can understand how it could drive a person insane based on my own experience with experimenting with audio. You know what I mean? Like I just gave up at a certain point,
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not like a rabbit hole for everybody.
Yeah.
I've always been into that like headspace, even like as a kid. Like I remember having like 2 keyboards, and this is like before I like started really playing the guitar, because my parents didn't get me electric guitar, but I was already like kind of like writing songs between 2 keyboards and stuff like that. One of them was like like a Roland 2 oscillator style synth. It was pretty sick. But that's like what got me into like synthesizers and stuff like that. The other was like a Yamaha cheap 90s almost like a Ranger keyboard where I had like everything all together. But I would use that for like percussion and kind of like bounce between the two of it. So I would like one hand be like drums, the other be like keys. I would like try to sing over it, and like that was like I would have like a rehearsed kind of thing going on in that. So like fast forward into this project where it's like something's already been like pretty much like figured out. I feel like more instinctively I could be like, oh, like I'm already like hearing this, already hearing that, already hearing that. The rest of the tricks is just like not try to get in the way of myself on it. Whereas like overthinking, like, well, the drummer's gonna be like we'll play it live together and be like, okay, like this is generally like the vibe.
Yeah.
And then like if I'm flipping to like bassist mode, then like the guitars and drums are already there, and so I'll just kind of like add that on. And then I guess the hardest part, so it's dang vocals, man.
I'm sorry, outsourcing to you. It's almost an exercise of cruelty.
Yeah. Not intentionally though. Like, but yeah, like, what was the original question? I already forgot.
No, you nailed it.
All right, that's it.
That's my guy.
So this question is for each of you. How would you describe your perfect day?
That's a really hard question, honestly.
Yeah, like today I slept in like pretty late. Like I was like out of bed like 3 p.m. That was great. But I don't know, like Perfect Day.
I think Lou Reed was onto something.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard that one?
That
A Perfect Day by Lou Reed?
there's a song titled "A Perfect Day" by Lou Reed. No way.
No, it's in Trainspotting. It's a wonderful song.
I need to watch that movie. Like, officially.
Please, I have it on my laptop. Let's watch it sometime. But
okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Not to hijack the question too much or whatever, but
I have a couple of different like perfect days, but I want to hear yours.
I don't know. I like how that song approached it, where it was just kind of like it seems as though it's like an address to the other person to an extent. It's like, you know, it's like later on we went, and you know, it's all talking like it's usually mentioning like a we. It seems like he could be like recounting like, hey, remember this day we had to the person that he's enamored with or whatever, and it's all just like pretty like simple stuff like, oh yeah, we like went to like the zoo and then like had sangria in the park and then like went to a movie later, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, I'd say like a perfect day would be sort of just like a smaller meaningful activities with somebody that you're I don't know, either enamored with or you have a meaningful relationship with. Like I've definitely, some of the greatest days I've had have just been like chilling with friends and like, you know, like going on the Merrimack River near St. Louis and floating on my friend's boat and then finding a place to camp on like a, you know what I mean, on the side of the bank, and then just like playing Doobie Brothers covers, you know what I mean, next to the fire while you're cooking beans.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that, you know.
Sounds great.
Yeah, no, it's a great time. Just I wouldn't say it's like it wouldn't even, like, the perfect day wouldn't be like a catharsis. It wouldn't be like, oh yes, I play like Madison Square Garden, and be like, no, in fact, it probably has a drastically small scale, you know?
Right.
In fact, it's probably just me being out in the woods or something, you know, enjoying that instead, you know? So.
What should I feel when I listen to this EP?
Hopefully excitement.
Yeah. We want it to be something to make a person move, obviously. You know what I mean?
Like if you skateboard and you hear it, you're like, okay, I'm going to try to tray flip down this 3-stair.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good.
So a skater.
Or maybe just ollie down this 3-stair. I don't know. Like if you're into skating. If you're not into skating, maybe it's like, I don't know.
So what is a skater vibe?
Have you played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
Oh my god,
that would I don't know. Like some of the songs are like,
so a skater vibe. A skater vibe is kind of a punk vibe, kind of a I'm gonna go out and have fun my way.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go on these like loading docks because there's like some like drops and stuff.
I'm going to try something I haven't tried before as well. I think is a key component of that mindset of like, hey, like I saw the way this dude like, you know, like did this certain trick sometime. I kind of want to try that.
Yeah.
Usually it's not to any degree of success, but it's like more along the lines of having the audacity to try something, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know what I
like
mean?
that kind of excitement. If you're like dare to do something, you're like actually kind of down to really do it instead of being like,
I mean, admittedly,
geez, I got to do this, you know?
We listened to the record and get pumped up for the interview, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
It was, I partially want to be a measure of something a person can like listen to is like, okay, yeah, no, I can do this thing, if that makes sense, in some sort of way, like
a positive vibe, a move you forward vibe.
Overall, yeah. Being like intense, perhaps harsh, and I don't know, like, yeah,
definitely driving.
Mostly like the lyrics and the meaning behind everything is like more like more positive than anything. like rat-like. The title itself not really that positive, but like the chorus, like the words are literally like, I don't know I'm meant for this life, but I'm so glad for this life.
Yeah.
And that's
the
chorus.
It's
like,
a positive take on possibly a negative emotion. When
Sure.
someone is questioning, why am I here?
Mhm.
What is going on? Why am I in this space where I'm at?
So not to bring film back into it again, but have you ever
Please
seen
do.
or,
Please do.
heard of the movie Jacob's Ladder by any chance?
I feel like I have, but off the top of my head,
It was an 80s movie. I don't really think it had anybody really of note in it, but there was this it basically is a character kind of going through purgatory, but he doesn't realize it. Like he lives in like a really screwed up, inverted version of 70s New York, which is surprising that they're able to create it because like 70s New York was already basically crazy and inverted.
This was done like the 90s.
It was an 80s movie, I think.
80s movie?
Yeah. But it was tracking a Vietnam vet as he was like dying. And anyways,
Okay.
I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but like there comes a key part in it where there's a character that is clearly supposed to be a representative, like an angel or whatever. And because he's like in purgatory, he's fighting between heaven and hell, you know. It's a very good movie, but he says something to the effect of like, angels and demons are like basically just a matter of perception, you know what I mean? Like heaven and hell is literally can kind of be a mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To an extent. And I mean, granted, the movie makes it very clear that he's in purgatory and that he's currently being operated on, is about to expire after being shot during the Vietnam War or whatever. I don't know, that message has always kind of like carried me through a lot of stuff. Is like, like it can, if you're insane enough like me, I imagine it can be a matter of perception. It's like, well, I'm going through this stuff, but
especially
I can be okay if I decide to.
Yeah.
To an extent, you know what I mean?
I love that overarching message, especially these days with social media and or the AI slop just thrown into it. It's like a very humanistic grounding perspective to have on things.
Like if there's one type of music I hate, and this is only something that I really saw when I was messing around with indie rock, I cannot stand what I consider to be like defeatist sort of music. Like this person did this sort of thing and now I feel like it's just like, no, you have control over yourself and your own emotions, and you by this song you are saying this person is bad, but yet you're still allowing them to have dominion over yourself and emotions and stuff like that. Like honestly, fuck Mitski. I cannot stand that garbage. You know what I mean? Like some pretty good songs in there, but like, oh my God, the overwhelming attitude of like, I'm just this wounded doe lying in the woods looking up at the sun because of what something has done to me, is like, no, you can go off and do so much more than that. And that's, I guess, what I want to try to approach is like, you get hit, you're not just shaking on the ground waiting to expire. It's like you should get back up and fucking punch somebody.
Which
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I want this to play out, but I do agree with you. It seems like in those songs, even the ones that are upbeat, it's still a defeatist attitude all the way through the song. That once the song is over, take the music out of it and just go with the vibe and just go with the vocals. It's still, I lose. And you can only put so many songs on an album where you lose. A good album will bring you up, bring you down.
Yeah.
put you in the middle somewhere, have a little party going on, bring you up, then bring you down. A good album will take you through every emotion you could possibly experience. Not all highs, all lows. It's got to be a combination of everything. I've heard great albums that were nothing but pump, 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 win, 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 win. Yeah, it's cool at first, but eventually it's like when you hit that low, you don't want to listen to that album.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
But when you're high,
connecting with it as much.
Yeah, I like albums that flow up, down, up, down, up, down. But it does seem like all her music is down here. And I don't know her personally.
Yeah.
I don't know her as an artist. I know her based on what I hear on the radio or on my phone, and I don't like what I hear.
Yeah.
Now, she does sound like she's very creative and has a beautiful voice.
Some good riffs in there too.
But the music is just, it's not my thing. And I try. When I hear her songs coming up, I try to look at them in a positive light, but I just can't after so long. It's like, a new song from such and such artist. Well, I know what it's going to be about. So, when it comes on, I'll go do something else because I'm not interested.
Well,
and I hate that about mainstream or even indie music played on the radio. You can almost label an artist based off 2 or 3 songs. And I don't think that's fair because writers, musicians, artists, there's so much more to them than 2 or 3 songs. But they get put in a box based off that music. And I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
And because you guys have different projects going on that are in different genres, I think promoting that is the best thing you can do to keep people interested in your art.
Yeah.
That's just my take on that. I'm sorry if I kind of went off on a little tangent, but that's where I'm at.
You didn't say nothing that wasn't correct.
Yeah, like a lot of that I feel like are a symptom from the controls of power before streaming, which 90s was radio, record labels flooded that out with whatever artists that they're already signed with. So an underground scene that wasn't under a major label or anything like that, we're not going to get any of that, even in their local area. Nowadays, that exists more often on radio. Problem is, not many people really listen to FM anymore.
Yeah.
And it's mostly streaming. And so now it's like trying to get yourself onto a playlist that an algorithm either rejects or accepts your submission into it. And in order to get onto that playlist, your music has to aesthetically fit that mold directly. And there are only like certain things that certain playlists / algorithms are looking out for. If you're trying to do anything outside of that isn't going to be proven profitable per stream, then that's not going to make it on there. And so what I'm seeing is like from that tangent was kind of like a symptom of the audience perspective of those powers and plays encapsulating or putting together that environment of listening to it. Whereas like say in like a truly free open world of like all music and promotion were treated as equal, there might have been a lot more opportunities or a lot more like different ears into different things.
So what algorithm is this EP gonna fit?
Oh shit. Oh. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, well,
if it actually gets...
Gel fans might like it. I don't really know, man.
well, no,
yeah, they need somewhere to go to, I guess. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, R.I.P. Gel.
Yeah, we'll take all the residual Gel and Zulu fans left over after those bands
Straight up.
Yeah.
Hit us
They don't
up.
know. Come here. We'll take you. It's a safe place.
Oh my god.
well, you guys are very creative and you've thought so much about every song and you've put so much effort into every note and every vocal of every song.
I would like to think so.
What I've heard, that's the way I perceive it. Is there someone out there that could produce a music video that would be up to your standards?
Oh, jeez.
What's the Instagram handle? Just hit us up.
Yeah.
I do have some personal friends. They really are. I'm sure they can match the vibe. Whether or not they would have time or be down. Their abilities are so well tuned for like hi-fi, cinematic. They do short movies and short films and music videos for other artists that are looking for the hi-fi thing. If they're interested,
Yeah.
I would love to hit them up. But I don't, if I were to think that this would be like the right call for this, this is very much like, for me, like low budget, lo-fi, kind of aesthetic on it. I would love us to have, be out in the woods with some like absurd costume, holding a camcorder, and then trying to figure out how to convert the tape into digital video.
It's easy. It's easy.
Yeah, like that. I don't know that, but like,
but maybe that process involved in the video of taking it from the lo-fi to current.
If you want to put it on YouTube and stuff like that.
I think he meant maybe like showing like the transfer of the mediums and stuff like that. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Kind of give it that artistic twist.
Yeah.
Kind of the raw, like you said, punk, and the music is very raw and edgy. So you take that raw and edgy footage and transform it into what people want to see, what YouTube wants to show, the algorithm, from the very
I don't think they would
production.
I don't think they would be like anticipating that. Like if it like goes into like the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that, it would be like, I feel like the algorithm would be like connecting it to people that have like seen the original Creature from the Black Lagoon kind of thing. Like I think they would be one of the more like, if like, I don't know, I haven't really had like much conversations into like what like the visual aspect of it was going to be. And honestly, for me personally, being like tracking, producing, mixing, engineering, all that, I kind of want that to be a bit hands off for me.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like new grant, like, you know, this is a conversation that we've been, have, but it's kind of,
might need to have this over some Mexican food later.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, that general aesthetic, if, for me personally, I'm okay with, loops, or was it like short reels? You're on Spotify and they have like that short loop and all that. Like, I'm cool with that.
A little atmospheric 15-second thereabouts sort of. Yeah.
Like that is totally fine. It doesn't have to be like a whole music video telling the whole story or anything like that. I don't know. For me personally, I feel like that died when Fall Out Boy in like, I don't know, like 2005 or 7 or whatever, like had that whole like album, and all the music videos that came out of it was like a storyline and all that.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember it. I just really remember being like kind of like ick about that. There's just like so much like concept and
Yeah.
like and then like of course it had like, you know, the following and all that because the money was backing all of that, and also like it was actually kind of cool at the same time, but because of like the over agency and all that was like putting so much of a shadow of like everything else that was also that scene that like turned that into something totally different. And like good on them, you know, like you know, that's fine and all that. But as far as like having like an original idea and experience to like bring out to other people in this day and age is like either you have to be like so like different and so original in that sense, or you have to really like cross off all the I's and dot all the T's that that the algorithm will carry your weight, your flag all along with it. And that is gonna like stray off of the original idea and all of it. Like feel hypocritical at the end, successful or not. Like when you asked before, like where we're at now, do we feel like we've like paid our due and stuff like that? And I was kind of like indifferent on the answer. It's conflicted because of what's like currently going on when it comes to that. When you're trying to like get like like just even just like a small scene of your own stuff, interested in your own thing, the level of how much you have to make it to be like compelling and unique and also fitting for it to be like bounced around on social media is really like a rare gem that's not already an equation.
Yeah.
And what I love about this project is that it's really not considering any of that. It's just to just bring this whole rant into like the
Nashville's most uncommercial band.
That is it. Like that is like that's our edge, man. Like that's how we're gonna make it. And if we don't, like, you know, like screw it. But like, hey, like that is
at least it was in earnest.
Yes, exactly, and that's how we're gonna get it. Like, you know, like I don't know if this were like a pep talk from like a inspiring coach of like a team that always loses.
Yeah, do the basketball movie. Do the basketball movie pep talk.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna like freaking Coach Lombardi this, you know, like that. But I don't know. He was pretty successful. I don't know if that's it. You know, you've seen Waterboy. Yeah. But before they had Waterboy on it and they discovered his abilities.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of like how it feels like anyways. But to be like in a band like this, in a scene like this, in a world like this where every single output possible is going to be redacted and reduced to like
an algorithm.
Yeah, to a standard that's like held to what record labels have like scientifically and they have like got it down to a science of like attention span within 5 seconds, because that's like that's the money bag and all that. And it's just like whatever, that's cool, you know, we're not an advertisement, you know, it's, you know, we're you know, trying to do something else. That's where I'm also still just like I am keeping my creative energy and fields on a more positive mindset of not having my head in the clouds and stuff like that. where I feel like I'm like
focused on the music, not the business.
Solely. But I mean, yeah, that does have its like drawbacks of like not wanting to do any promotion and stuff like that. That's just like, because it's like, oh man, I'm playing that game, but like, you know, you have to like, so, you know, put that out there and, you know, just be honest of like what you have, what you want to do. And the whole visual thing has got to follow the music thing, but that is a totally different expertise in the field of media that I personally don't have an experience in. Plenty of ideas, but as far like I feel like out of place being like, oh, we should totally like do this and do that. The lighting will be perfect in this kind of day and hour for this kind of setting, because that's what they did for The Creature of Black Lagoon.
Well, when someone finally does film a video for you guys, before it's released to the wild, and they show it to you and they say, this is what we're releasing 2 days from now, and you view that video, if there's something in the video that you didn't like, would you step up and say, I'm not cool with that? Maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do that, or someone has taken your music and turned it into something that they see fitting.
Well, I think, I mean, I would definitely be inclined to say something. You know what I mean? Kind of going back to what
not, and I don't mean to interrupt, but not in a demeaning way.
Oh yeah.
Just say, you know what, that just doesn't fit the vibe of the song. Can we adjust this portion?
Yeah. No, even with us working on some of the stuff, we've hit some adjustments that might have seemed like microscopic and stuff like that, but I was like, no, trust me, dude. No. You know what I mean? And I think that would come across in the visual thing, because I still do kind of view the project as, I mean, even though, like, you know, I'm mostly just the guitar and come up with like the riffs and stuff like that, I think I have a pretty good like perception of what the aesthetic considerations for stuff like that should be, and you know how the sound could be portrayed visually. Before I dropped out of college, famously, I was an AV student, so you know, that sort of thing has always kind of been within my wheelhouse, like a particular preoccupation of how to get music to fit in the visual medium, and vice versa. You know, again, you know, as I said earlier, I've always been very influenced by film when writing and stuff like that. So I think that the inherent, perhaps, I'm hoping it comes across, but like cinematic quality of some of the songs, i.e. in the way they ebb and flow, and lyrical content would like pave the way for expression in that way, if that makes sense. You know?
Yes, it does. What should fans expect from you guys in the future?
I hope they don't expect that much.
Maybe some more songs.
Yeah. So two that we're putting on a fast track out for fall. And for remix wise, the other 2 songs on Cryptid One will be finished pretty shortly after that.
Yeah.
So, like, Halloween, come around that time, Cryptid One will be out.
I was hoping we can maybe get a show in before then, and then have Cryptid One be out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Singles out before then, though. Like the Pity Sex and Rat Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the 4 songs, the 4 5?
Technically 5, yeah.
5, yes. I don't know why I keep forgetting.
We have a
Lister and USB, but my bad. Like that is one of the more like complete songs that we have.
Yeah, no.
We keep forgetting. But yes. A whole like after that, now that we figured out our writing process and all that, probably earlier next year
Yeah.
is when those songs will start being released.
Mm-hmm. And by then, hopefully, we'll already be into the third batch of songs.
Yes, that we may or may not call Cryptid 3.
I think Cryptid 4 would be hilarious.
Cryptid 4, yeah.
Let's skip Cryptid 3 altogether. 3
like
is
it.
right out.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
We may get around to Cryptid 3 at some point.
Yeah.
And that's something that the fans will definitely will be looking out for.
Yeah.
When the time comes, they're gonna be like, "Where's this Cryptid 3?" We're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" It's like release Cryptid 5.
I'm on board with you guys. Would you guys consider yourselves introverts or extroverts?
Introverts, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Forced to extrovert my introversional ways. Were those words?
I'm not entirely sure, my friend.
I'm not good at speaking.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm not good at writing.
Words for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not good at writing, singing, playing, doing
Me neither,
anything
man.
artistic. Nothing at all.
I'm sure he knows some chords on the guitar.
Well, maybe literally two. And that would be it.
C and G.
I mean, I can do those and I'm golden, but anything past that, I can't do it.
I would love to see you play Free Fallin'. You're Tom Petty. Because you could do those chords.
Yeah.
Anyone could do those chords.
Not right now, but maybe you know what? In a week, I could do it.
Yeah.
I would have to look at it and actually, it's been so long since I've touched a guitar.
Yeah.
It would take a little while for it to
Come back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like riding a horse or riding a bike.
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah.
I would assume,
But you never forget how to fall off.
true. That is true. So I guess
Good.
that actually makes sense. Even if I couldn't play the guitar, I could screw it up the same way I did way back when. So you never forget.
Play like the guitarist for Big Brother and the Holding Company or something like that. Screw it up like in the best way possible. He screwed it up very consistently.
I mean, that's been the goal all along. Not just this project, but yeah, like in general.
Was not expecting to do a Janis Joplin reference during this, but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
What is the best advice you guys have been given in music?
Oh man, you might have to take point on this one, my friend.
Oh well, for me, it's like don't get caught up in the imposter syndrome and the option paralysis of like where to take things, because that is like a daily and most upfront battle. Yeah, that's my knee-jerk reaction to that question. It's just like just that, and like over time you'd be surprised that like not like whoever like comes across your thing, they're not gonna notice the things that you were like caught up on. I'm talking to myself as I'm finishing the mixes. They're not gonna like hear that, even if they're still not solved, and you release it anyways because deadline, and like they're not gonna like pick up on that unless if it's like into actual like super obvious thing. Like I'll say that I don't know, like, but it still ends up being like a positive thing. Like say for there's like literal nonsense lyrics in a song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And
ding dong ding dong ding ding.
And yeah, apparently they're like screw it, like, I'll send it, and it ends up being like, like everything around that like carried its way through. But I that didn't like stop the record labels, Rick Rubin or whatever, be like, we can't have this out here. There's no actual lyrics for that one line, so like don't get too caught up on that. If the Red Hot Chili Peppers could get away with that, and a lot of other things, but we won't get into it. But don't get too caught up on that. Just be awesome and do awesome stuff.
I think you're onto something there.
That's it. That's
Yeah. I guess.
What say you?
I guess a similar thing would, and mind you, I'm just like paraphrasing here. It wasn't necessarily along the lines of like, don't worry about imposter syndrome, but just like just play it right. Just zone in on the playing. Don't worry about anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
the imposter syndrome is gonna happen.
Yes, inherently,
it is gonna happen.
Everybody suffers from it. Like, and I don't want to disclose the name or anything like that. When I worked for that like platinum selling country act, I remember I was tight with the lead guitarist, and I mean, mind you, I like sucked at the time, honestly. Like I've gotten so much better than when I was working with that band. He would like come up to me after shows and be like, "Hey man, do you think I did well?" Because like he and I were like buddies,
and you're looking at him like, "Dude, you're the one that's on his
man.
What are you talking about?
Like you just played like a Slayer like solo perfectly, man. And but even still, like he just wanted like the recognition from his buddies. It seemed like that he had done okay, and I was glad to give it to him, but I was sometimes worried about the guy, quite frankly, because like
the unhealthy loophole for musicians to becoming good and amazing is
like
it is a little unhealthy of a feedback loop. Like, oh, that wasn't perfect. I got him.
His freaking hero, Paul
Smith,
came and met us at a show one time, and the guy was so freaked out about it, and just, I mean, he didn't throw the show or anything like that, but he definitely didn't play his best. And then afterwards, he got so messed up, you know what I mean? Just because he was just
Paul Gilbert.
He had somewhat flubbed it in front of the dude from Racer X, you know what I mean? The guy who did all those guitar instructional videos from the 80s that even I've seen, you know what I mean? So
Paul Gilbert is an absolute king.
Exactly, but
Racer X is crazy.
Shout out to Racer X, but
shout out to Racer X.
But like,
put that on for an inspiration, even.
But what hit me is like, you know what? I'm glad I can get off the stage sometimes after playing a perfectly okay gig, and then, you know what, man, that was some good fucking guitar right there. I'm happy with that, as opposed to this guy who's playing like lightning fast, and he just seems to be tortured by his own demons. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
It does.
It
does.
And in as much, like I'm not, I don't want to sound complacent. Like I always make a little ritual I have for myself is if I play a show, I go home and I practice immediately after, because John Coltrane's a personal hero of mine, and that's what he would do is usually practice till about 2 or 3 in the morning. I mean, I imagine heroin had something to do with helping out that, but I always go home. I play the set. I play the set list a few times, and until I feel like I ironed out the parts or I hit the stuff I missed or something like that. So, but I think there's a key between like maintaining a healthy relationship with music and going like, you know what, I could have hit that a little bit better, and then going like, I'm an absolute useless person because I flubbed one note. Everybody flubs a note,
Oh, of course, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It's an invariable part of a show. You're not going to hit everything 100% unless you're some sort of demigod.
It's all an illusion at that point.
Yeah, half the time it's just tracks and compression.
Yeah. Like it very much is like an illusion. Like all of it. That's where my kind of like fun and creativity comes into play on it. Even is just being aware that like the reception of the things, who it's going to be for, and whether or not it's even marketable on it, is that like it's just playing around with the illusion of the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like foremost really thinking this is like as part of mixing it after like tracking it and all of that. It's just like, what is the actual like illusion of the thing, especially in the digital realm, as far as sound goes and levels and all that. There's only so loud, like there's all only a level of like loudness that you can reach until it like absolutely maxes out. So what's the illusion that you're going for? And going into like back into like performing like your best performance or whatever, that you would want to like remember till the end of your days, that's probably going to look different than somebody that who has seen you on a different night, on your worst night. To them, that might have been your best performance. Where it, like, say if they were in like the right room for the type of act, like say if it's like a small room packed full of people and it's like really vibey indie stuff, and the drummer is playing like a mixed drummer would, where he's not absolutely like slamming the hell out of the cymbals, but hitting the kick its snares so that it like drives through, versus like say like an indie band that is playing in a different venue where there's a lot of reflections and there's hardly a PA system to like mic up the guitars and even vocals, and the drummer's just like hitting the crap out of his drums, and it's just
overwhelming
just
the rest of the
drums.
song.
I'm like speaking out of personal experiences here, but that was, I like, me as a drummer by trade, I was like forced to be in those positions because like drums only have one volume, really, you know, like the cymbals that I currently have, you hit them kind of, and they're like loud. And you like hit them really hard and they're like a little bit louder, you know?
Yeah.
And that's like, I love that. But if I'm not in the right room and the PA system's not going to be driving the kick drum and the bass guitars and vocals up, I'm going to be the bad guy, and I'm going to be giving like a bad experience for some people, being like, I'm being the showboat, where it's like a, you know, singer-songwriter or whatever. So, what the hell got me on this tangent? So,
no, I agree with you there, and I spoke on that earlier, and I've spoken about it several times. I've been to so many shows where the drums just absolutely drowned out everything else.
Yeah,
and you watch the drummer.
I wanted to tell you, like, man, that's not the drummer's choice. Like,
and I don't blame the drummer or the guitarist or the bassist or
don't ever blame the drummer. They have to bring so much,
because
don't ever blame the bassist. They probably can't understand.
Well, it's the sound engineer. And
it could be the room, though. And
it could be the room.
And it could be the equipment.
It could be the speakers. It could be so many things. And I don't want to blame one person because it's not fair. But
blame the vocalist.
Hindsight, I do. When I leave the venue, I'm like, man, that bassist should have just left it alone. I mean, there was no sense in that. Or the drummer should have backed off a little bit, or the lead guitarist just should have kind of, I mean, man, I understand, but you just, and I do that, always find, I'm not going to say fault, but I think what I'm doing is, in my mind, I know exactly the way that song sounds if I've heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
And when it doesn't sound the same way live, I try to place blame.
Yeah. The artist may be
subconsciously.
Yeah.
There's a thing in theater, like overacting. Like, say if you're in a crew where some of the actors aren't as strong as the others, and you're not on a leading role and you're acting over the leading roles, that throws off the whole dynamic of the play. That happens too in music too. Where, like, say, if we as like a punk post-metalcore project have like an amazing neo soul R&B bassist on, he's not gonna cut through, or she, like, they'll have the low end for sure, but for like what we're trying to play is definitely like, you know, like heavy up front, and having like those like that crazy low end, you know, you've seen like the 5-string basses just like every once in a while hit those really low notes, and it's like, whoa, like that's not like fitting on it. That would be like overacting in that kind of sense, like versus like what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And so I can see that happening. Or like, say, like if like a metal drummer is like being thrown into like a country pop kind of thing. Like, say if I were like, I'm advertising for this too. If you're a country pop artist and you want to like a rock heavier drummer kind of thing, okay, we'll put you at ease. I only do single pedal, you know, like I don't do double.
Single pedal.
I can do double if you want me to. But yeah, I will hit really, really hard, and that's just thing. Like, that's my own bias on it. Like, there is one volume on the drum set. If I'm behind it, it's gonna be 11. But like, hey, if you want that, but like, I'm not out for gigs though, so I redact my advertisement on that. I'm really busy right now.
Best advertisement I've ever heard. The non-advertisement. You can't buy this. I'm just showing this thing to you. That's great.
Let's see that model follow up.
The anti-advertisement. Not for sale.
Oh my God, that would be so funny. Like for Sonic or whatever, just have like the God tier burger brought out. Just like, there's no way we can have these materials out. But man, would this be awesome. And it's just like,
if only.
All right, guys. Well, we're kind of up against the wall on this one. Where can your fans meet up with you guys on social media? Where can they find more music? Where can they find conversation with you guys?
They can follow us at thank you. Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, what's the handle?
The handle is okay, cool. It won't actually load right now. Oh wait, hold on. Local _Cryptid _music on Instagram.com. Yes. As well, if you want to connect with either one of us, I am Cryptid Type Beat, all one word, on Instagram as well. And you are?
I'm Project Bri, all lowercase, one word, like a password. And that's my personal Instagram.
Yes. In addition, we will have content forthcoming as well as music for you all to listen to as well. So this will hopefully have a bit more context
by the time this is out. Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to this interview. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And hopefully these two guys will come back once this EP is released, and they'll talk about the album that is soon to follow. So thanks for tuning in.